What is good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to an all-new episode of TAETRO Talks. Thank you so much for being here today. Call-in show. So I've already dropped the link in the chat. If you haven't seen it yet, grab it real quick and get in the waiting room. Get ready to call in, talk about some creative advice, motivational stuff, the creative process, anything revolving around the life of a home studio music producer. We try to stick to some of the more philosophical side of things on this call-in show, rather than the more like nitty-gritty technical, you know? And I think it ends up being good conversations that anybody can kind of take value from and we can all sort of relate to. So it's nice to have this show where, you know, sometimes we have a guest, which next week we will have a guest. We'll have DJ producer Eagles and Butterflies on the show. But this week, you all are the guests, so you all have the opportunity to call in and chat, which I'm excited about. I love connecting with you all this way. So if you are already in the waiting room, which I see a few people already, great. Stay in there. Be patient. I'll be taking you all one-on-one. Don't worry if it's your first time catching the show or if you're apprehensive about calling in. If you call in, you get put into the waiting room. So it's not like you're immediately on the show or anything. And then also what happens is it's only audio. It's not video. So if you're self-conscious or whatever, it's just you calling in, you and your voice. Don't be nervous. Sometimes people call in, they're nervous, and it's okay. Just take a breath and it should be a good time. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I'll say hello to the folks over in 343 chat first. Korean Jesus and John H. Kingston, hello. If you're watching over on youtube.com/343labs, amazing. And we're playing lots of great content for 343 Labs, and we're very close to 10,000 subscribers over there. And that is to say, our show is brought to you by 343 Labs. You should all give the school a look if you want to learn more about music production, synthesis, sound design, Ableton, Logic, all of the above. 343labs.com. The link is in the description. Lots of classes starting soon. And it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be in New York or Berlin. A lot of the classes are online, of course. AB is also over there in the chat. Hello. But TAETRO Squad, TAETRO community, please go over to youtube.com/343labs and give a sub, because I'm trying to get that account up to 10K, and that would be great. But I want to say hello to all the people in my chat as well. First, with a shout out to the members: STK, Andre, OSR, Enigmatic Onion, Sam, Rajo, Taylor Deemer, Karina, Enigmatic Onion says, yo, hit us with the knowledge today, TAETRO. I will do my best. Enigmatic Onion, I will do my best. Samuel Messiah is here as well. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Pendulce is here as well. Hello. Wow, look at that. Max Wild in the chat. So now everybody in between, even if you're not a member. Oh, and if you're Berlin-based, by the way, Max Wild brings up an important point. There's an open house coming up in Berlin. So if you want to connect with a bunch of music producers, etc., people looking to learn, you want to learn more about the school, just check out the vibe. Go to the Berlin open house. Jacob Marino in the chat as well. Hello. Let me go back up and say hello to everybody else as well. Animated Evan, Beats by Ted, Django, Uric. Does my chat box work today? We'll find out. Oh, it does look like it works. Noran, Deshawn, Ray Calvin, hello. My mom is here, hello. Kalana, 10:30 p.m. Thanks for tuning in late. Some of you are tuning in and it's late at night. Some of you are tuning in during work. However you want to tune in, I think is cool. Aeon, hello as well. Nice to see you all. My dad is in the chat, hello. Mom and my dad struggling with typos today. Very interesting. Coach Trey, what's good? How do I tune my knobs like you? I got a good tutorial on mapping controllers that you can find on the channel. Custom map your MIDI controllers. If you type that in, you should find some good resources on the channel. Julian Jacques, what's up? IGZ. I'm sorry if I missed some people. The chat kind of refreshed on me. Dhanush, Thomas, Bedwell, hello. Sorry. Rappo Music. Rushank. If I miss your name, I'm sorry. It wasn't on purpose. My chat all of a sudden refreshed. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, drop where you're tuning in from. I see Netherlands, New York. I think it's amazing. Y'all are watching from all over the world, all different times. But that's the best part about this community and doing this show, is that we get to connect from all over the place. And we really are like a broader community, not just a... Background music is a little loud. Gotcha. We are not just alone where we're at. Sometimes we're the only creative people we know, so it's hard to relate to people around us. Or at least maybe we're the only musicians or music producers that we know, especially if you're not in a traditional school. But here we come together, and it doesn't matter if you're in Taco Land, Ohio, Virginia, Sri Lanka, South Carolina, Canada, Bhutan, UK, Amsterdam. Doesn't matter if you're in any of those places. Houston, Ireland. It's crazy. Doesn't matter if you're in any of those places because we all come together and we're here. Oh, Natali is watching from Mars. Congrats. Glad you made it there. Got a few calls in the waiting room, of course. I'll take them in a moment. The title today is Stop Asking for Permission. Shout out to India. Shout out to Brazil. I feel like it's been very present in my comments lately, in my messages lately. Like people asking, is this okay? Is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I use this gear? Is it okay if I use this DAW? Is it okay if I use this loop? I'm so confused by that because what do you think is happening? I mean, in reality, who's judging you? Like, who's making you ask that, I guess is the question. It's a question that you should ask yourself. Who are you? Like, if you ask me if it's okay, are you asking like an authority? Like, do you feel like I'm an authority on the subject? But also, I'm not an authority on your creative process. Nobody's actually an authority on your creative process. And I think what's kind of toxic sometimes about the music production community is there's a lot of gatekeeping, and there's a lot of folks who spend a lot of time judging other people's workflow, other people's creative process. And I know for me personally, I just don't have time to do that. Of course, I'm here to educate. I'll help you when you ask questions, and I'll help point you in the right direction. But I think there are a lot of people who go out of their way to say this is okay and this is not okay, as if there's some definitive voice. And there are some people you can listen to for that, and there are some people that maybe you shouldn't listen to for that. You can always ask, like, what are the credentials of the person you're listening to? And then sometimes it comes from insecurity within us. We feel that we're somehow cheating if we do a certain thing, using a loop, using a MIDI thing, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you're going to progress a lot faster if you just stop asking permission in this music production sense, and you just start making stuff, and you just start putting stuff out. It doesn't have to just do with the making the music. It has to do with releasing the music. Just get it out there. Is it okay if I upload to SoundCloud? Is it okay if I upload to XYZ? It's like somebody asked, is SoundCloud a good streaming service? I mean, what do you mean? There's millions of people that listen on SoundCloud. Like, you have to figure out what works for you. Same way I have figured out, or I'm constantly trying to figure out what works for me. I don't know if something works. I can make emotional decisions and say, I feel like YouTube is the best platform, and that's all I'm ever going to do. But if I did that, I'd be leaving all my followers on Instagram, or my potential audience on Instagram, on the table, That's from a social media perspective. From a music distribution perspective, I could say I'm only going to release on Spotify because I think it's the best. Well, then everybody who uses Apple Music and everybody who uses whatever is going to miss out. So I think it's a little bit less of I do this or this, and it's like, let's do this and this. Let's do a little bit of everything, and let's not ask if one is better than the other. Let's not ask for permission necessarily from anybody. Let's just go ahead and throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And especially for a lot of you that are early in your music production journey, your music journey, you should be trying as many things as possible. You should have the humbleness to realize that you're not the expert. You're in the process of becoming the expert of your own creative process, of music production, of marketing yourself as an artist. You're in the process of that. But any decision you make is based on not much. It's based on whatever little research you've done, but you will gain some knowledge from that research, but a lot more knowledge from the experience of trying things and doing things. So don't waste your time asking for permission or asking if things are okay when you got to figure out what works for you. Of course, there are models out there to follow. So one way to answer that question, is this okay? Should I do this? Should I do that? Is just by literally watching what other creators do, what other music producers do. Not every question has to be like, of course, we're doing a call-in show today where you can ask your questions directly. or in chats of a stream or in comments of a video. You can ask your questions directly, but the way to get your answers is not always by having your question directly answered. First of all, at a beginning point in your journey, we don't necessarily know what questions to ask. We don't have the knowledge to ask the right questions. So we're actually better off just not asking questions at some of these early stages and just absorbing as much as possible. And allow the questions to be answered through the content, or allow new knowledge to just come in, even if you didn't have the question. I hope that makes sense. That's what's been on my mind based on some of my comments lately. I'm going to pause my background music now. And I suppose we can jump into the calls. I have a few people in the waiting room. A reminder that I will also take questions from the chat. However, I would prefer if you call in using the Zoom link that I just dropped in the chats. But I will take a break here and there and check in on the chat as well. What's holding me back, says Evan Turner. That's a great question. I would love to get into it if you call in. That's a deep one, but I have follow-up questions for that. Taylor Deemer says, sometimes I do feel pressured to use Ableton Live because it's popular, and sometimes I feel that I might be shunned for using Studio One. I don't think you should feel that way at all. Here's the thing. I use Ableton Live, and I know there's a lot in the DAW wars, right? Like some people like to say, this one's better than this one, this one's better than this one, this one's better than this one. I don't understand that. When you can literally find a hit record that's been produced in every single DAW. So how can somebody tell you that one is better than the other? Now, the one thing I point people in the direction of is sometimes people come to my streams and ask me questions about other DAWs that I literally just can't answer. And you can see from watching any of my content that I've basically never used any other DAW besides Live. So there's that. But it also becomes a choice of like how many resources are there out there. So I don't think you should feel shunned for Studio One. Just make sure that using a DAW like Studio One, which maybe there's a few less resources out there to learn and to grow because it's not as popular, make sure that doesn't hold you back. But you could probably just as easily, go your own path and figure it out on your own. Maybe you don't need, or maybe whatever resources are out there are good. It's all to say. People who spend time judging other people's creative processes, the tools you use, how you go about it, the setting you're in, the style, the thing that you make. If at the end of the day you're happy with the art that you're making, I just don't understand why people have time to. I think people are searching for something to make themselves feel better, and putting other people down is often the thing that people go for that, rather than lifting other people up. And it's unfortunate, but you should learn to spot that, because in your creative journey, there will be lots of people that try to bring you up, try to support you, and there will be lots of people that are either threatened or jealous or just potentially want to feel better than you, want to feel more knowledgeable, want to feel smarter, those are synonyms, but want to feel superior in some way. Just be keen to look for that in your interactions as an artist. I think it's important. Should we get into the calls? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, y'all will help me with the levels, hopefully. Let's start with Paul. Now, when I bring you in from the waiting room, please make sure you mute the stream. You'll listen to me through Paul. Did Paul just leave as soon as I said their name? Yes. All right. But regardless, when I bring you in from the waiting room, mute the stream, listen through Zoom, make sure your mic is set up. Little mic icon in the bottom, select your microphone, make sure it's the right one, select your speaker, make sure it's like your headphones or your speakers or whatever. Amazing. Okay. Try this again. I scared Paul. Sorry, Paul. Call back in. Levi, I got you coming in right now. Here we go. Connecting. Hello, Levi. Am I saying that right?
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for calling in. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. What about you?
I'm pretty good. Bringing up your volume. Oops, wrong button.
Wait,
all right, so
I gotta mute the stream.
Yes, mute the stream. It'll be on a delay. It'll be confusing. And then I'm hitting the wrong button. It is a crazy show today, but thank you all for tuning in. Levi's getting Your audio situation settled. Are you good to go?
Yeah.
Let's chat. What's on your mind today?
So I recently got Ableton Live, and I've been
Congrats.
trying to. So I'm a beginner on it, so I've been trying to learn how to use the software and stuff like that.
How's it going so far?
It's okay. I've been it's been okay. I've been figuring it out a bit, but I'm still like I'm pretty confused.
Let me ask, what is your process for like learning right now? Like, are you just working in the software? Are you looking up videos? Have you tried any kind of courses or anything? What's your process right now for learning?
I'm just working on my software because
What have you had the most success in doing so far?
hmm, um
Or what's been like fun for you? Like, what's been the not frustrating part so far? Or has it all been frustrating?
I I feel like sadly it's been all frustrating because I've been I I just don't really know what to do.
That's okay. Do you have what inspired you to get Ableton and start making music? Like, were you making music before this, maybe in a more traditional way, or did you just see like some producers somewhere or performers? You were just like, I want to do that. Like, what inspired you to take the step in the first place?
I was always listening to like lo-fi, and I got inspired by Daft Punk to make like electro music and stuff like
Nice,
that. And a few years ago I got a DJ set where I would like not necessarily make my own songs, but I would mix other people's songs and make
nice.
them into my own. But now I have the mini lab MK or whatever
Yeah,
and I want to make my own song. So that's where I
that's
am.
awesome. Well, do you know how to play keyboard at all? Like, do you have any piano knowledge at all?
Actually, I think I've been playing for 6 years. I've been in piano lessons for 6 years.
That's great.
So
So you're actually a step ahead of the game for somebody who just downloaded a DAW and probably doesn't have any. Like, I get a lot of people because I recommend these MIDI keyboards all the time. People go out and buy these MIDI keyboards and bring them home and go, "Oh, I actually don't know how to play keyboard." So you're one step ahead on that route. But it just seems like you need some direction with the DAW. So, like, what suggestion can I give you? I can say find the tutorial, find the person online that speaks to you the most, that can help break it down for you from a beginner perspective. I mean, but I feel like you probably already know that, or you would have already thought to try that, or maybe you haven't.
I have I haven't. I'm not sure. Um,
It's okay. Well, like, I'll just speak from my experience and perspective. When I first started Ableton Live, using Ableton Live, like back on in Live 8, I was probably in high school. I was just like you. I was like completely lost. I didn't really understand it. Ableton Live also has the benefit and also the drawback of, like, you open it up and it doesn't look like a lot of other music making programs. So it's a little bit daunting at first. But I found this one video called "Making Music with Ableton Live," or "Making Music." Yeah, I think it's literally just called "Making Music with Ableton Live," and it's from their official account. And there's a guy named Dennis DeSantis who works for Ableton that does this demonstration. And I wouldn't say it's like a step-by-step procedural tutorial, but what it is, and the video is pretty old at this point, but I think it's still relevant because it still shows the general workflow. Like, here's the idea of how this is supposed to function for your creative workflow, it really, like, I think there's so many videos out there now. I'm talking about a time when there weren't as many resources online for learning music production, learning DAWs, but there's so many videos out there now that it's hard to pick one, and it's hard to find one that's going to help you where you're particularly at. in not knowing anything, because so many tutorials probably start from step 5 rather than starting at step 1. But this particular video, making music in Ableton Live with Dennis DeSantis, maybe somebody can throw it in the chat for me so we can reference it. It's probably like over 10 years old. I just watch videos over and over again. Like when I find videos like that, it's easy to watch YouTube and think it's just entertainment and think you'll just absorb it. But I think it's okay, like especially if you seem really determined to learn and to create your own stuff, to approach it like it's school kind of. And I never really liked schools because they never really taught me things that I wanted or needed to know. But the stuff on YouTube that you can directly find what you want and need to know. So like a video like that, I would sit and I would watch it over and over again, and I would literally dissect it and pause it. Okay, what's he clicking on here? Why did he click that? What's the process going on here? So I think for you, like find a video, find a creator that is going to bring you from step 0 all the way up. But don't just watch one piece of content, then move to the next piece of content, then move to the next piece of content. Like sit there with a notebook if that's how you learn, or sit there and, take some notes, watch it over and over again, hit pause, replicate it yourself. It's like that's the benefit too. You're watching it on your computer. You can have Ableton Live open in a separate window and literally follow along. And I'll also say my streams, which are on my channel, which you can go back and watch, like pretty much every stream, I start from a blank project and start building up. And I think it probably moves a little bit fast for somebody who maybe just started. But if you pause it and you slow down and you take it step by step, I think you might be able to follow along pretty well. So that's what I say. Like take these videos, take this free instruction on the internet, and really, really just take it slow. Don't move on to the next thing. If you like a presenter or if you find that it's speaking to you, watch it multiple times, take notes. Also throw in a little plug here, 343labs.com/handbook. We're working on a completely free video handbook for Ableton Live. So it's less like a tutorial. It's more of like a learn every single function within Ableton Live, and that's completely free. So I definitely recommend you check that out, 343labs.com/handbook as well. But does any of that resonate? Does any of that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, I hope that you'll call in again. I'm happy that you called in because I think a lot of people are in the same position as you. It's the struggle that we have as music producers. When you talk about classical and jazz music and stuff that's really taught at high levels, that stuff's been around for centuries. But now we're in this technological age where things have progressed so fast with computers and DAWs, electronic music, that it doesn't have the centuries of pedagogy and curriculum behind it. So you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with how you're feeling a little bit lost or feeling like you don't know where to start. And a lot of people feel like that. That's why I'm saying I hope you call in again in a future call-in show so you can let us know how it's going, and you can let us know things that are working, things that are not working, because it could probably provide a lot of value for a lot of people. But thank you for calling in. Please keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join.
Of course, anytime.
Well, goodbye.
Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Yeah, I think that's relatable for so many of us. It's just like the resources aren't out there. And it was even worse 10 years ago. And I'm not saying it's great now, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I didn't say Ableton Live was free. Maybe I think people are saying that. There's a handbook. There's a free Ableton Live video handbook at 343labs.com/handbook. Somebody, I'll just type that in the chat so you all don't miss it. That is what is free. 343labs.com/handbook. It is worth checking that out. That's a free, it's basically a free video manual for Ableton Live. And we're rolling it out still, but there's still like a ton of videos out now, like over 30, I think. That's what I'm talking about is free. But also Live has a 90-day free trial, so don't sleep on that. Sorry for the confusion on that question, but that was a great call. And I think probably a lot of people can relate to that feeling, whether you're in that moment now or you were in that moment previously, because I know that I can. I got Eric coming in the room now. Hopping in. Connecting to audio. Hello, Eric. How's it going?
There we go. Yo, man. Thanks for bringing me in. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining the show. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Sweden right now, but
Amazing.
I live, I work full time with, this kind of stuff. So I live on PST. So it's like 10
Oh,
a.m. in my head right now, which is confusing because it's dark outside, that whole thing.
I feel that. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm messed up with just daylight savings time throwing me off by an hour, so I can't imagine that.
Oh, yeah. That really missed like 2 sessions, like because I was late. Just like a 2 week delay, basically, where it's 5 and 8 hours to New York and Cali
Right.
instead of 9 and 6 and shit. But yeah, now we're back, so I'm really stoked about that. No, man, I just wanted to call in because I'm a huge fan of the show. I tend to watch it right before sessions. It's like the time right before I jump into Zoom and make stuff with people.
Awesome. I hope it's like a
And
little bit motivating for those sessions or something.
oh yeah, it really is. It's like this chill thing. Just things are crazy right now in the pandemic. So
Totally.
it's just nice to remember that other people are doing this and starting to do it, and everyone's at different levels.
Absolutely.
Makes you feel less pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I really like your show, and I think that there's some really cool people of all levels calling in and stuff. And let me just say something real quick, and then I'll get to what I want to get to, which is like, so I've been doing this for a long time for a living, like since I was 17, and I'm in my mid 30s now. So I've seen a lot, going through all the eras and stuff, and like now working from home, and I'm just doing my stuff, and I basically have like 18 boxes of my studio next to me that haven't even unpacked for 6 months
Wow.
because you don't need it anymore. Like you literally
Exactly.
don't need it. Like I did a track in this room that just hit like 120 million on Spotify without the label.
Nice.
Thank you so
Congrats.
much. Thank you so much. No, like a point of saying that was like there is such a weird thing these days where people who want to get somewhere on the internet are trying to find a trick or something. Have you thought about this ever? Like, is this something that you get frustrated with sometimes? The people who are want success are trying to find like the trick for them. Like, oh, he did this. Oh, he used zero. Oh, he used this. It's a preset. It's a splice sample.
I think that's all the time, and it's something I
Yeah.
think I've been thinking a lot about this lately because
Also,
I realized that a lot of the questions that I get, what is that preset you use? Like like when people want to know like such specific things, or like things in that vein, I think it really is like people looking for the trick. They think if they do the exact same thing that they can replicate the success or something, or that it's a trick. And I also think people ask questions that don't make any sense because
yeah,
they're looking for a trick. They're looking for an easy way. And the one thing that I've 100% learned as somebody who has tried to find I'm always trying to optimize, but I do have that like, I do have that feeling of like trying to find the easiest way to do something. But one thing you realize when you start doing things at a high level, high scale, is like they're trying to do something the easy way is actually the hard way, because you go and you try to do it the easy way. It can't be done the easy way. You learn that, and then you go back to doing it the right way. And really, if you just skipped that step and didn't try to do it the easy way, you would have been further along because it would have taken a lot less time. And then also the thing about the trick, like people looking for the trick, I just don't get that. Like I can show my process as much as possible. You should
yeah.
replicate that process. I have no trick for you. I have no thing that you can do and get the same exact results. There just is no trick. There's no trick. There's no easy way. But yes, I find that a lot.
Yeah, that's great to hear, man. You basically said a lot of things that I think all the time, I was thinking before. But I'm in this interesting situation right now where, because what I do with this one artist is absolutely not everything I do. And, I'm not known for one sound or anything, but let's just say the artist I'm working with has a very specific sound and it kind of got big really quickly. So people make like type beats, how to make corpse type beats, right?
Right.
Because I work with this kid called Corpse who blew up really quick recently. And it's just really funny to see like these like 20 different producers of all kinds who are just like trying to like, oh yeah, he does this and this and this. And it's like, if I do those things, it's just because I want to do them in the beat. Like I don't sit here and go, okay, I'm going to distort the 808.
Right.
Okay, here's the same snare in every song. No, just kind of it fits his voice and it fits the writing. Like what do you think we can do to educate the both younger and older people on like it not being about us like a grocery, like it's not really a list, it's not a grocery list of things, oh get these things, it's not an ingredient list, it's not a cooking recipe, like it's a vibe and you have to follow what's in your head.
Can I circle back to the artist you're working with is Corpse Husband?
Corpse, yeah.
That's amazing. Congrats. So I'm a fan of your work, I would say.
Thank you. I started working with him like, before he had ever done any music. It took us a year for him to even release a single song. So that is an interesting, and it's just me and him, we do everything ourselves, literally. Like I do everything from beat to master, and like we turn down all the deals. It's really fun.
That's freaking fantastic. I mean, one thing I love about that story, I love all the stuff that he posts about the Spotify Billboard and stuff, and it really is so revealing on how you have to be like inside the bubble of the industry to get that recognition and to get that quote unquote like recognition of success, even though you guys have this monumental success because the numbers don't lie. It just shows that you have to be inside that bubble. It's just super revealing,
Yeah, 100%. Like, so we have 1% playlisting on our music, right?
That's insane.
1%, because we don't have any backing. Like DistroKid doesn't even do much for us. They just collect money. So it's just like basically you get there by just doing different things. And what I found, and this is kind of what I found to be the like motivating factor for trying to explain to all these new people that it's not about doing like a recipe or like figuring out things step by step, is when I do sessions now. So I do like 5 to 8 sessions a week now because I got management, so I can basically work with anyone I want to work with. You just have a bunch of fun. You just write some music. There's no money involved until you release stuff, but it's just really fun.
Of course.
And the thing is, I'm not working with a bunch of Corpse ripoffs at all. Like I'm working with bands, I'm working with different artists and singers and all kinds of stuff, because they understood that I could make something that fit his voice all at all. And that's my value. It's not that I make spoopy trap beats,
Exactly. I mean, I think the question is a tough one. Like, how do we communicate that to the audience? I mean, one thing that I have just found to be like to get ahead of it a little bit more is like before in making content, like I would make a video, put it out, and then the only interaction I could have with the people who consume that video would be replying to their comments. So what happens is they ask I'm not going to reply to every single comment. They ask a frustrating question like that, and I just don't have the capacity to answer. But it always starts with them asking the question, them not even knowing how to frame the question, or they are looking for that shortcut, whatever. But what I found now with doing live streaming is that I'm interacting with people in real time. So I can like jump on those questions. Like I can call, like I call it like tough love. I mean, people in the members and stuff can tell you, like sometimes I get a little ranty and I like go for it and I call people out. But like some of the best mentors in my life, they didn't tell me everything I did was great or everything I said was smart. They called me out when I said something dumb, or they called me out when they knew I was looking for an excuse, or when I was making an excuse, or when I was looking for a shortcut, like we talked about before. So doing live interaction has really, I think, helped me try to hammer home the message. And I don't think that's possible for everybody. And I don't think it's not sustainable for every piece of content, because not every piece of content I have will be live and be able to interact. But being able to be in real time, be like, wait, what is that question that you just asked? Like a lot of times it is beginners. So I have absolute empathy for them because they just don't know how to form the question. But if you can catch a beginner, especially a young person that asks a crazy question that makes no sense, if I can in that moment say, what are you saying? Like, what is that question? Like, what is the answer you want me to give you for that question? And they can take a step back. And if they stay long enough to build a connection and to not be offended by that, and know that I'm not looking to offend them or make them feel dumb, I'm looking to give them a reality check, then that's like the most effective thing. And to give you a background, I used to work in youth development. I used to work with kids, like teens and stuff. And that was my style. And kids loved me for it because they knew if they came to me, I'd give them a no BS answer. And a lot of what happens with working with kids is you want to just empower them and uplift them and whatever. And yes, we can do that, but we can also do that by smacking them back down to the ground and giving them a reality check. And they will appreciate that much more than just telling them everything is gold and rainbows, you know?
Yeah, I just want to follow up one thing on that real quick, because just so people can actually trust me and get motivated. So I work with this one kid. Are you familiar with this kid who does hyperpop called Glaive?
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of that hyperpop playlist on
Yeah.
Spotify, and their songs come up a lot.
Yeah, Glaive is, yeah, exactly. Glaive is like the shining light. He is 16 years old. This is just a motivational story for people in chat, right? So it's coming up on being April of 2021 now. Glaive is 16 years old. He started making music in April 2020. That's when he made his first song.
Wow.
He got signed to Interscope and got management, an amazing deal with Interscope. Just like a couple of EPs so we could build in the fall, and he's already out of the deal. And now he's like the biggest thing in the industry, basically. He's been making music for 11 months. He never asked for permission to do anything, just like you said, like he never asked. He made music for like literally a couple of months before he got noticed because it was really good.
And just did it too. Like, didn't take the time to stop and say, can I do this? Should I do this? Is this how you do it? Is this the right way? There's no time for that.
No, like the kid, like we did a session that is coming on this record in April. It was a 2-hour Zoom session with me sharing the audio to audio viewers. And then I spent like 4 hours getting the stems ready, and I sent it off, and the song was done in a week. And it's one of my favorite songs I've ever been involved in. The kid is brilliant. He does his stuff at home with a freaking mic, just randomly in his parents', living room. And he doesn't overthink shit. He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't do anything. So like, it doesn't matter if you're doing this for 10 years and you feel like you supposed to have success, or people owe you success. You can always restart and just refresh, and you start thinking, yo, what do I want to do? I'm going to have fun doing it, and let's just do it.
Exactly. You hit it on the head there. Eric, we should connect, because I think it would be great to get you on a show where we do a chat for the whole hour, like a proper interview. Do you have Instagram or something? Or
well, my email in the chat.
Got it. Link up there. That's perfect. Yeah, let's connect.
I'm a big fan of your show, man. Thank you so much. And
hey, I'm a big fan of your work, and I didn't know that before you called in. So that's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty low key, man. It's just because of your community I decided to just call in.
That's great. Thank you so much. Great call. We'll connect after.
Thank you. Peace.
Have a good one. Great call, chat. Great call. This is what I like about call-in shows, is you can have somebody who is super new to music making, somebody who like has no idea how to use a DAW, and that's valid, and we can have a value exchange, and we can talk about things. They can provide value to the audience, and then we can talk to somebody who's producing with artists that have millions of plays on Spotify. It's all valuable, and that's like this is a level playing field. I don't know. That's why I like doing this show. I think it's great. Tamara is up next. We're cruising. I want to cruise through the calls. Seriously, holy whiplash, because those two calls are equally valuable. Exactly. Hey, Tamara, how's it going?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you so much for calling in. How are you today?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Yeah, I'm feeling great. How about you?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling in from?
From the Netherlands.
Amazing. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I have just a small question. I'm actually trying to search. Well, I use Ableton Live and I love it absolutely.
Awesome.
But I just don't really like sitting behind the computer the whole night,
Yeah, I feel that.
I would love to have a dollar setup, but I just don't really know where to start.
Oh my gosh. I feel that so much, and I feel it on two levels. Yes, I want to get away from my laptop sometimes, and then the synth world is freaking overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
All right, so like I think you probably definitely want to go the direction of a groove box, right? Because if you're coming from an Ableton Live workflow, you want something that's one thing that you can use that you can basically make a whole kind of track.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With and like what I'll say is there's no like perfect device out there yet. I think that's like, okay, it's not going to match your Ableton workflow by any means. There's
Yeah.
a couple more. There's a couple bigger, like more advanced ones, like the Machine Plus, and then the Kai MPC products, like the MPC One and the Live. Those are like super expensive and more trying to like recreate the DAW experience. So to me, those are like you might as well sit at your laptop. You know what I mean? But I do have the circuit, which I don't have the new one in front of me right now. I do have the new one, which I have a video on it. It's called Circuit Tracks. You should check it out. The one I'm holding on stream right now, if you still have it up, is the original Novation circuit. And this is like the perfect thing for somebody like you that's looking for that get away from the computer experience, because it's got 2 synth tracks, a 4-part drum machine. The other one is more advanced and more portable than the newer one, Circuit Tracks. But from here, you can build tracks. Now, you can't build 20 track songs with all the amazing like sound design. You're limited to the synth engine in the device, the 2 synth tracks, and the limited sample-based drum machine. But this, circuit's perfect for what you're saying, I think. And also, like, a lot of the workflow within the Novation circuit, I think, sort of mirrors Live. Not a perfect one-to-one, but I think it's speaking the same language, just in a different dialect, maybe. I think that is what I would point you in the direction of.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I actually just looked at the Novation circuit, and it was on the top of my list, so that's great to hear.
Absolutely. There's other stuff, like one other Groovebox that I have that I really like is the Electron Model Cycles, and then there's also another one called the Model Samples. So those are... what I will say about those is way I talked about the Novation circuit and it mirroring an Ableton Live workflow a little bit more. The Electron world is its own world and it has its own quirks. It has its own workflow. So any of them could potentially fit this whole like walk away from the computer and just have a detached experience. But I think if you're looking to translate your DAW knowledge and your Ableton Live workflow, this circuit is it's got to be the way to go for sure.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much. It was just a small question, but I was just wondering, would you...
No, it's a perfect question because there's hundreds of synths out there. So like when you say DAW-less setup, I'm sure you type that into YouTube and you get all of these crazy setups that require like thousands
100 videos.
Right. And like exactly what we want as like DAW-based musicians that want a little bit of a getaway, the Groovebox is the way to go for sure. Thank you so much for calling in.
Well, all right. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Have a good one. Let us know in a future call in what you ended up going with.
That's fine. Yeah. All right.
Amazing. Have a good one, Tamara.
Yeah.
Keeping it rolling. We got motivational. We got super tactile stuff going on. It's fun. All right, I got to keep rolling through these calls, my friends, because we have a lot of them. So thank you all for calling in. Thank you all for tuning into the show today. It means a lot. I hope you're taking value from this. Iconic click. It's a little. It's not as simple as like, why do you want to use DAW? Sometimes we want to get away from our DAW. That's a perfectly normal experience. I want to get away from my computer sometimes. Phoenix, how's it going? Make sure you mute the stream, Phoenix, and make sure you're listening through Zoom. That should help you out. And I'll talk to chat while you figure out the audio situation. Andre Von Zark says, I love DAW-less setups because you get instant music and not having to deal with CPU, and I come from a traditional music world. I think that's another great benefit. A lot of the problems we have with computers and compatibility and plugins, this all gets eliminated when you have a dedicated device. All right, we lost Phoenix. Phoenix didn't want to talk to me. Mason Carter, come on in. Make sure you unmute your mic.
Hello.
Hi, Mason. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for calling in. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling in from California, Cupertino area.
Wow, I'm in California, LA.
That's so weird.
We're on the
so
same
close.
time zone. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in. What do you want to talk about today?
I just wanted to come in here. I'm going to have to do a future call, but I'm in school right now. I just wanted to say you're such a big inspiration to me. I really I've been doing music, like really low budget music on Ableton Live Lite 9 for the longest time.
Nice.
And I just wanted to come in and say, like, with the 8 tracks, I've gone from like using other people's samples to like from your videos being so inspired to do live performances, even with 8 tracks.
Of course.
It's so like refreshing. I bought myself an Akai mini play mark. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Play. So
Hey, those are really kind words. Thank you for saying all that. I'm glad I can inspire, and you're on the right track. If you can like make the most out of your limitations, like that's what it's all about. Because even when you upgrade, you'll have limitations, you know, until we're big and rich and famous and we can get anything we want at any time we want, we will have to work within limitations. And what you do with those limitations, I mean, it's like what Eric said earlier about the 16-year-old who didn't ask any questions, just went and made stuff and had a lot of success. I mean, do what you can with what you got. You're on the right track.
yeah, for sure. Thank you. I'm gonna have to go to class now, but
Okay.
I'll call in future to talk a little bit more.
Are you calling in from the bathroom?
No, I'm in an office
Epic.
area.
Nice. Well, thanks for calling in. Don't get in trouble. Don't be late for class.
won't.
Please do call again soon.
I will for sure. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
I just imagine like somebody like going to the bathroom in the middle of class and calling to the show. That's great. Do what you can with what you got. Limitations. We're all working within limitations. I work within limitations, and I also think I impose limitations on myself on purpose so that I can be more creative, you know? Let's keep it going. I got prod.dagster did it. Dagster did it. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hey Nick, I thought. Hold on. Let me.
Do I say prod Dagster did it? Is that how I should refer to you?
Yeah. You should, or you just call me Daxter.
Daxter, got you. Thanks for calling in, Daxter.
Okay. Can I mute my mic real quick? I have to tell somebody something.
Go for it. What if the caller could group instruments in a single track to bypass the 8-track limit? Oh, like in the yes, that's very smart. The counselor, that's very smart. I wonder if that is a good workaround.
Okay, hey, I'm back.
Welcome back, Daxter. Where are you calling in from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana, amazing. Well, thank you so much for calling in. What do you want to chat about today?
So I use FL Studio to make my music or whatever.
Nice.
And I don't have enough confidence to like put my music out. You know what I'm saying? Like if I make a song all the way through, whatever, I just think that it's not good enough and I delete it right after. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
Like, do you have any way that I could, like stop doing that maybe?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things. My instinct says just put it out. Like you are an audience of one, right? You're a critic of one. You're one person listening to it. Like imagine how many songs that you heard that are big professional tracks that you maybe were like, this is trash. Like I don't like this. So like, but then there's millions of people who like it. You know what I mean? So like there's that. We have to realize that we're an audience of one. We're a critic of one. We're also way harsher on stuff that we've made because it's ourselves. We're a harshest critic. And then at the same time, you should figure out what would maybe not make you feel that way. What would give you a little bit more confidence in releasing music? And that could be it could be a goal in like how the track sounds, which means maybe you have to level up some skills a little bit. Like maybe you have to learn a little bit more about mixing. Maybe you have to learn a little bit more about, instrumentation in the certain kind of tracks you want to make. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I think that beginners mostly have this problem because they just it's hard to, like if you go skydiving or something, it's hard to take that step out the plane, and once it's out, it's out.
Because I've been making I've been playing maybe guitar and piano because like my whole family, they're musicians, you know what I'm saying? I have a family full of musicians or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned how to play from them and stuff. And
Good.
I started playing guitar maybe around mid 2017 and I started playing keyboard maybe last year, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like I wouldn't say I'm a pro at guitar. I'm maybe like pro intermediate, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to keyboard and piano, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of good at it. But I've been making music for about like the style that I'm doing right now. I've been making it for about I would say a couple months maybe. Is it okay if I play like a little snippet of a song that I have released?
Go quick because it's not gonna sound great via Zoom, but yes, you can.
Okay.
Dude, what's the problem? You don't want to release this?
Do what?
You don't want to release this?
No, I already have it released. I have that released. That's my first song that I ever like put out on YouTube. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
Well, that's epic. So you are releasing some stuff, but there's some stuff you feel like is not making the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just feel like if I put it out, I'll be like, oh, well, nobody really wants to, listen to this because they won't like it or they won't, like my style or whatever,
But how do you know? You don't, that's what I started the stream with talking about. Like, you don't know that. You feel that. And of course your artist instincts are important for you making work, but also like the amount of music and the amount of videos that I put out, the ones that blow up, I cannot explain it. And I didn't make them thinking like, oh, this video is going to blow up. People are going to love this beat. Like I have one video that just like took off all of a sudden and it had sat there for a month. And then all of a sudden it took off in the numbers. And I'm like, I could never have predicted this. What if I had never uploaded this?
Then you would have never,
I wouldn't have reaped any benefit from it, which a lot of people probably discovered me through that video or something, So there's that. So like, think about how many opportunities you have for that in your repertoire, in your projects folder. Now you can, like, it seems like you have a very good handle on like what's good quality, like what you should put out quality wise. But if it comes to a matter of like taste and you're not sure if people are going to vibe with it, people are going to like it, whatever, just remember that these platforms are a news feed, right? Like once you post the new thing, the old thing gets pushed down. Post the new thing, old thing gets pushed down. And if you do that over the course of a year and your skills keep progressing, your music keeps getting better and better because of that, because you keep pushing yourself to release and be held accountable to that audience. Anything that's kind of just meh or just performs like kind of okay or maybe even performs bad is just going to get pushed down. But that's even more incentive to just keep releasing and don't stop releasing, because even if you put out a banger track, if that's the only track you put out for a month or 6 months or whatever, then people are going to forget about you because it is a news feed and they're scrolling through a news feed too, where there's a new thing in front of them every day. So every thing that you put out is like buying a lottery ticket. It's like everything that you put out is a chance to reach a new audience, to potentially at a small scale, reach a few more people that can find out about you, or release a thing that ends up meeting a ton of people and a ton of people discover you for it. But you don't, unless you buy the lottery ticket, you can never win, So just keep putting stuff out.
See, because I published my first song. It was like a little beat that I made or whatever. I really didn't put much effort into it, but it's just like a little groovy thing or whatever. I posted it January 15th of this year, and it has 77 views and 4 likes, mainly because I didn't promote it, I guess. And I have another song that I have out, the first song that I showed you or whatever, that's the first song I ever put out, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I have another song that's called Pomegranate Peter. It has 18 views and it has 2 likes, because I really didn't,
well, the other thing too is, like you saying, you didn't really promote it, but what are you doing to promote it? What are you doing to get it out there?
I'm going into, Twitch streams or whatever. I'm saying, hey, could you, check out this song, give it a like and a comment, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll show it to my friends from school or, from social media and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I think what was going to benefit you a lot is you got to start building up your artist persona and profiles across social media, so that you can become a page like look at me and look at what I do, look at across my pages. The thing about when I release music is that I have this built-in audience already that was coming to my channel to either get educated or get entertained by whatever content I'm putting out. If you can do something where you're just documenting your process, you have cool photos, you have cool videos, you should definitely be making at least one beat video for each track that you do. Just even if you're just like finger drumming one part of it or whatever, Just literally go look at my page. Look at what I do. It could be a reduced version of that. But because you don't want, every time a track comes out, you don't want to have to do a big like push or a big campaign. Wouldn't it be great if you already had an audience that kind of messes with what you do and is around all the time, so that when you do drop that new track, they're already there. They're like gonna kickstart it. You know what I mean? That's the missing link, because think of how many people release on SoundCloud, or how easy it even is to release on Spotify and all that now. Like, well, anybody can do it, and if nobody knows who you are and you just release it into this void, into this vacuum, you know, does the tree falling in the forest make a sound? You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So I think for you, the next step, like, first of all, just start putting stuff out. We talked about that. It's that lottery ticket mentality. Like, get it to the quality you want and then put it out. Don't be afraid, because you don't know what's going to hit and what's not. And then start to build up those pages, start to build up that artist persona, so that you can start building that community around your work. So you don't have to rely on like a random promotion, or going into Twitch chats and telling people to check things out every time a track goes out, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying when it comes to that.
Yeah. And you could do it too. Like, it seems daunting, but you know, you can make it happen. Go make a TikTok today, like make whatever. And the tools are out there.
Yeah.
Please call in the future and let us know if you applied any of this. Let us know how it went. We would love to support you as an artist. Where can we find your work?
Okay. I have a Instagram, but it's not my music Instagram. You could check me out. I could post it in the chat right now.
See, you need the thing. This was a moment for you. This is a moment for you to be like, yep, check me out on like soundcloud.com/whatever, or it could have been like, check out my music page, whatever. But if you don't have that, you got to get off this call. You got to do that immediately.
Yeah. I feel you.
Cool. What is it? You can put it in the chat, actually. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat right there.
Awesome. Thank you for calling in. Like I said, call in a future call-in show, and let's chat again about this, and let's see what's going on.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Have a good one.
All right. You too.
My dad in the chat brings up a good point. Records have A-sides and B-sides. You could put out a track that's like your bread and butter, what you always do, et cetera, et cetera. And then maybe that's not all you want to do. I have that all the time. I love producing all different kinds of tracks that are not necessarily lo-fi, chill hop, etc., etc. We got to keep rolling. Hey, Phoenix, you're back. Let me give you another shot. Hopefully we get this to work. Hey, I saw Phil Savard in the chat. Phil created this cool art on my shelf. I'll show it a little closer in a moment after this call. Hello, Phoenix. How are you? We're connected again. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Last time I didn't join because my mother was in the room, so sorry for that.
That's okay. What do you want to talk about?
Tomorrow I'm starting my YouTube channel and I just really want to get some advice.
Congrats. Epic. Tomorrow's the day, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, go ahead. Ask away. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about?
I started making music about a year ago, and that has been mostly on FL Studio trial version or PreSonus Studio One Prime.
Yep.
Prime, which are very limited versions, and recently I got my hands on Ableton Live Lite.
You're trying everything.
And I've been working on it for like past 5 months, and I released music before, but today I decided to make mixtape and really push it.
So what do you want to post on your YouTube though? That all sounds good. I'm excited for that. But what is the YouTube channel?
Means I don't really have any expertise or like how to say.
You have no plan.
Yeah, I have no plan.
Well, you want people to listen to your music, right? Is that the goal?
Yeah.
So this is a question. What would make somebody watch your channel? An artist that they don't know. Think about this. When's the last time you listened to or went to a YouTube channel of a person you did not know to listen to music you had never heard of? When is the last time you did that?
I don't know.
Probably never. Probably very rare. I can't think
Yeah.
of the last time that I did it. That's the thing. And this is for everybody in the chat too. Like, just do that thought experiment. For some reason, when we make stuff, videos or music or content, whatever it may be, we suddenly start to think like, oh, I'll just do what I can do, what I'm capable of doing, rather than let me do what people are actually looking for, what people actually watch, what people actually want to consume. So you need to think about that for your YouTube channel. The model for me was, I want people to listen to my music. Yes, I had the same exact goal as you. I want people to know me as a musician, as an artist. I want people to listen to my music. But who's going to listen to this dude TAETRO that nobody's ever heard of, and this song that nobody's ever heard of, et cetera, et cetera? And there's a couple different routes artists can go. You got to give them something familiar, something entertaining, or something educational. So you need to give them something they can learn. So maybe you know something about producing in these DAWs. You rattled off a bunch of DAWs. Maybe you have really good tips to give. So maybe you can make some educational videos. Or maybe you're really funny and you're really entertaining, and you can do something that is entertaining and funny in that way around music stuff. Or maybe there's tracks that you really like that in the EDM space or in whatever genre space you want to be in, that you can cover or that you can recreate in a DAW. So now it's not like, oh, it's this artist I don't know and this song I don't know. It's this artist I don't know, but that's okay because they're doing a track breakdown of this song that I really like, et cetera, you know? So you gotta do, like, if you're just starting out, you gotta either entertain me, you gotta educate me, or you gotta give me something familiar that I can latch onto, or else I don't know who you are, I don't know what music you make, and there's a million other artists doing the exact same thing. So what's gonna make you stand out?
Yeah, I get you, but I also have another way. I'm in high school now, and balancing music and studies has been very difficult for me.
I hear you, and that's important, and your studies are important, and also it sounds like being an artist and being creative is also important to you. So what I'll also say is nobody's telling you have to start a YouTube channel right now. Nobody's telling you have to release content or release music right now. You're creating that for yourself, and that's honorable. You should do that, but you should find a way. I'm not saying you have to do a video once a week or once a day or once a month. I think you can find something that works, even if you just start, with what I said. It doesn't, even if you're having trouble balancing your studies and your music and your art, whatever, don't do something that isn't going to progress you forward. It's even more important not to do something that's not going to help you. Just because the only thing you can do right now is make a piece of content that's not going to be very effective doesn't mean you should spend your time doing that. You should spend your time doing something that's actually going to help you move forward and help you grow. Or else it's just wasting time as a whole. So you said you're going to start your YouTube channel tomorrow, but there's no point in starting your YouTube channel if you don't have that plan. Too many people say, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Okay, what video are you going to make? And they say, I don't know. Oh, I want to be a CEO. I want to start a business. Okay, what's your idea? Oh, I don't have an idea. I just want to be a CEO. Or I want to be a writer. All right, great. Show me your stories. Oh, I haven't written any stories. You know, like, there's no pressure to have made something already. There's no pressure to be something, but you have to figure out what's achievable and sustainable for you. I venture to guess that it is sustainable for you to make one great video a month, at least. One great video. And I mean one video that's informed by what I just told you. Educational, entertaining, something familiar. You can do that. You might not be able to do it once a week. You might not be able to do it once a day. You might be able to do it once a month and not be stressed out. Nobody's saying you have to do it once a week, but do something regardless that's going to work. Don't just do something that's not going to work because it's what you can do. It's no point for you putting out a video every week that nobody's going to watch.
Yeah, I get you. Can I talk to you in a future call? I have to sleep now.
Of course. Yes. Please call in again. Good luck with the YouTube channel. Just start playing, start experimenting. It's okay to just start and do something, but just know if you're looking for results, you got to apply some of these things. And I would love to talk to you on a future call, but get some sleep.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one. And I'll measure what I said on that too. Like, it's not that there's not a point in starting something if you're not going to apply some type of like strategy or whatever, but don't start a YouTube channel and expect to grow as an artist unless you're going to apply strategy. Do start a YouTube channel if you have zero expectation. And then this is YouTube channel, releasing music, making content on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. If you really just want to learn about these platforms and taste test and try things and learn about the nuances, how do I make a thumbnail and upload it? How do I even upload a video? How do I format things correctly? If you want to experiment on that level, by all means, go and do that. But just know that that's an experimentation for you. And that's almost like research and development. That's not you like starting your YouTube channel and I'm going to grow my audience. That's you like learning. That's you skill building. That's totally different, you know? All right. I have 4 more calls in the waiting room. This means we're going to close the waiting room for now. But thank you to everybody who has called in so far. I appreciate it. We'll do another call and show real soon. But I have a few more calls. I will take everybody who is in the waiting room at the moment. But I'm not going to open up anymore. Jonathan Bartor, I have you up next. Here we go.
Oh.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. You sound amped today. Are you amped?
Amped? And
like excited. Sorry. Like really excited.
No. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to be here again.
Great. I'm happy to have you again. What do you want to talk about today?
I want to ask, how do you upload your music to Spotify and Apple Music?
Very easily. google.com. And then you type in that exact question. But I'm serious. I'll tell you. But what? What happened?
I typed the question, but I really didn't find anything.
You gotta go deeper, my friend. So, like, I will 100% give you the real answer, but I'm gonna do a bit of a rant on this. Like, it goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. Like, your specific question doesn't always get answered in the exact way you ask it, in the exact way you whatever. Like, there's no way that you went to google.com and you couldn't find your answer. You 100% could have.
I found one, but I know if they're safe or anything because it says, well, just give us your music and we'll do the rest. So I know.
That's a better question.
Yourself.
Yes, that's a better question. So, like, what you're really asking is, like, what's, like, the legit way? Like, are these things safe? Because you're unsure, because you don't know. So that's what I get that question totally. Thank you for clarifying. I'm all about that. That's why I like doing calls and live, because if you just type that, because, like, if I got that question as a comment, and this is for you and for everybody else too. Like, if I got that question as a comment, how do I upload my music to Spotify or whatever? That's really not what you're asking. And I wouldn't answer that comment because it is a thing you can Google. So always, like, in the future, like, we're on this call so we can have a conversation, and like, it's great that we can do back and forth and I can clarify, but always think about that. Like, if you had asked me that in a comment, like, hey, is DistroKid safe, or are these platforms safe or whatever? Like, I'd be more than happy to answer a question like that because I understand where you're coming from. But that said, I use DistroKid. So the way it works is there are these distributors, right? It's not like SoundCloud where you just make an account and you sign up and it goes on SoundCloud. You upload and it goes on SoundCloud. What it is there are these services that are known as distributors that you upload your music to, you upload your artwork to, and they distribute it out to all of the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, etc. They do it all in one shot, basically. But these services cost money usually. Most of them cost a little bit of money. The reason I like DistroKid, and that's the distributor that I use, and I've used them for a long time. Full disclosure, they have sponsored videos, and I have a referral link in the description, but I used them way before they ever contacted me, and I paid for the service myself. The reason I like using DistroKid is because you pay once per year, you pay an annual subscription fee, and you can upload as much music as you want. Whereas a lot of other,
sounds really good.
Yeah, it is really good, because what a lot of other distributors do is they charge you an annual fee and they charge you every time you want to upload music. So for me, I don't want to have to think about, every time I upload something, it's going to cost me money. I just want to think about pay one time and then upload as much music as I want all year, you know? So and they are legitimate. They are say go with some of the bigger names. When you type in that Google search and you find some of those bigger names and the websites look legitimate, like DistroKid or TuneCore, etc. Like if you go with one of those major ones, you'll be totally fine. You can trust those. Those are legit. Those are the real deal. And I have a DistroKid referral link, and I think you can save money on a subscription if you use the link in the description. And it supports the channel. So if you are thinking about that, check that out because you can save some money that way.
Thank you. Well, goodbye, I guess.
Thank you for calling in, Jonathan. Call again soon.
Of course. Bye.
Bye. The lesson is how you ask your questions, what you say in your questions. We can all Google how to distribute the music. But if your actual question is like, hey, I feel a little confused. I don't understand if these are legitimate. It seems like I've never done this before, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you ask the question. That's a totally different question than how do I upload my music to Spotify and whatever, you know? And I'll tell you right now, the DMs and the comments that I don't answer are the ones that you should have typed into Google instead of my comment section or my DM inbox. Or you should have read the manual on your piece of gear. You know, like those are questions I do not answer. Happy to answer a young person or anybody really that is just like humbly saying like, I don't get this. Like, is this legit? But then it's also as you get older or as you spend more time, it's not about age, as you spend more time doing this kind of stuff, you get a sense for what is legitimate and what is not legitimate. Okay, Raj was recently in the members only live stream, and we get to chat then as well. Raj, welcome back to the show. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, TAETRO, thanks for having me, and thanks for having these call-in shows. They're awesome. I learned so much.
I have a good time with them. It's been a good show today.
Yeah, for sure. And the last few callers definitely answered a lot of questions I had, and they were pretty interesting. I mean, the one guy with 20 million plays on Spotify.
120 million.
120. That's wild.
Wild.
Here I am. I'm about to release my first track onto Spotify, and I don't really care how many likes I get. I think along with the theme of this, don't ask for permission. Just I think it's good enough, so I'm going to do it.
Exactly. And then we talked about it a little bit, like, what was it, last week or something during the members only stream? But yeah, I'm excited that you're moving towards releasing that track. And you're 100% right. I think the way I look at it is, would it be great to have 120 million Spotify plays? Yes, I'll take it, please. But do I every time I upload a track, do I expect anything? No, I'll take what I get. And I have zero expectation.
Right. For sure. I can't wait for you to hear the song. It definitely has improved. I've been following your advice on listening to it a ton and EQing it, to no end. And it's pretty tough with a lot. I have like 4 or 5 guitar layers playing.
Nice.
And it's hard to EQ all that, but
sure,
it's coming along. So
am I going to get to hear it on Saturday's beat review stream?
100%.
Amazing.
I am super stoked.
That's
I can't
exciting.
wait to see your what's the word, impression or your reaction.
I'm pumped for it.
You've seen me from the beginning, and my first few songs were kind of silly, but this one is definitely more modern, I guess.
Awesome.
So I'm proud of it. I'm having fun, and I just want to let everyone know, just keep making music, because you may make something that's not good, or you might not know what you're doing, but you just keep getting better, and it's awesome. Just getting better at this is just the best part.
That is the thing. It's the journey, and it's the zero expectations. Dude, I've made so much crappy music publicly, not even privately. Yeah. I've made so much I've made crappy music privately as well, but I've made a lot of crappy music publicly, and you know what? I don't care. There's no shame. I still have fun doing this channel. I still have fun. I've improved. And if you love the process rather than loving the result of the process, then it never gets old and you're happy.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I could totally relate, because I was, just starting out. I was putting out my music anyway onto SoundCloud and Instagram. So my friends saw it. And I told you on one of the other calls, one of my friends that makes phone games, little logic puzzle games. He was totally about having me make the music for his next
amazing.
Next app. And I was like, wow, I'm only 4 or 5 months into it at that point, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna just keep doing it.
That's dope.
See what happens. But yeah, I don't mean to keep the call dragging on. I didn't really have a crazy question to ask you, but I am curious. I mean, what is you've been killing it on the live streams. So just wondering, like, who are your favorite music streamers?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't want the thing about it is like I don't consume a lot of like music production content. I consume a lot of content that's not about like I almost see it as well, I don't know. I do watch some music content. I don't watch any music streams though, I'll say that much.
Okay.
Like
that's fair.
I poke around and I look a little bit. I think earlier in my like not recently, but I used to like watch a lot of Deadmau5's content. You know, he has that stream where he's in his like Epic Studio, like Twitch stream. But I poke around in terms of like market research and just see like what are other people doing to so I can make these a little bit better. I see a lot of people doing certain beat battles and stuff, but like I don't really vibe with that. Like there's a whole like cash prize. I think it's a kind of a weird dynamic. I love doing contests with prizes and stuff, but I don't know. Something about that feels a little bit.
It's too competitive.
It's
right?
Yeah, and I'm fine with a little healthy competition. I just want to put the community first. You know, I don't know. Maybe those places do that, sure, but I don't know. I just don't have any incentive to do like a cash prize kind of thing. I don't want people. Yeah, whatever. But I've seen some of those things. Nick Mira, who's a big producer for like Internet Money, he does streams. And what I like about watching other people's streams is like I have all these cameras and all this production value. And sure, like I love that because I love doing that. But other people just stream like with their laptop camera, with whatever, and it's whatever quality, and it's still great. I mean, there's a whole different culture on Twitch and stuff. Yeah, so I don't watch a lot of music content, unfortunately. Like I'm way more likely like Joe watches XQC, who's a gaming streamer, and I'm way more likely to watch those with him. Like all the stuff that's going on in the GTA roleplay server, like with Valkyrie and like Sakuno. Like I watch that stuff. I watch Frenemies. It's one of my favorite podcast talk shows that I watch. I'm a member of that channel. Like
cool.
That's where I'm at. But my consumption time, my like entertainment time, I'm not consuming music production content. Like even some of my peers in the space that I love, they're good friends. Like I don't watch their videos. I don't think they watch my videos either. Like, you know what I mean?
It's you're too busy, you know, producing the content.
That's the thing. I think it is like a work life thing. Like it feels like work to, well, of course, if I need to level up my skills, whatever, I'll sit here and watch a tutorial and all that. But it's very specific for that purpose. I don't watch it as like a entertainment. Usually I'm looking to escape from that a lot of the time.
For sure. I mean, I also watch a little bit of XQC.
Nice.
You know, playing chess is hilarious when he does that. Some Valorant here and there. But for music production, I mean, I've just been watching your stuff and a little bit of Eldre and
nice. He's cool.
Yeah, and I think Bad Snacks does live streams too. But I've only watched like her YouTube videos just because I do like a lot of the guitar recordings, so I found that helpful. So when she does the violin stuff,
that's a perfect example. Like you could be searching for days for guitar recording and in like electronic music production, whatever. But the fact that you're able to see past like the keyword of guitar and be like, oh, if I watch Bad Snacks do this with her violin, I can take just as much value. I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about at the top of the 100%. Thing today. Like get your questions answered from places that aren't specifically answering your question, but still have the answer. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, great call. I would love to hear everybody in the chat should please spam their favorite music YouTuber, producer, whatever people watch online, you know? Yeah, dope. Good call. I can't wait till Saturday. I get to hear your track.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Yes, Enigmatic Onion. Gerd gang, peace and love. That's where it comes from. All right, let's... Nick Mira doesn't really talk to his chat. Yeah, but he has tons of people in his chat. But that is also like what I talked about, like community and stuff. I think cash prizes create a very strange dynamic. Not quite the crowd I want to. I mean, what does that even mean? I don't know. It's just all about community. Like when we do like competition stuff here on this channel, everybody's kind of supporting each other. Everybody's having a good time. It's less about the prize. Well, for most people, there are a couple bad apples, but for the most part, it's less about the prizes, less about the reward, more about the like encouraging each other in community. So that's what I like to do. And by the way, we were talking about this, but there is a Beat Critique stream on Saturday at 7 p.m. PST, After Dark stream. and it'll be members prioritized. But if you become a member, I will be prioritizing members beats, and we don't always get to like open it up. So becoming a member is the best way to get your beat critiqued. Okay, we have 2 more calls left in the waiting room, and now it's time for a special segment. You know him, you love him. He calls in every time we have a call-in show. He, in fact, has his own segment. Please welcome to the show the young man from across the world in the UAE, Samuel Messiah.
Hello, everyone. This is my segment. Samuel Says.
You know what I do, Samuel? It's like as soon as I hit admit you into the room, it takes a minute for you to like get into the room. And it takes a minute for the mic to turn on. And I try to do a nice little intro and vamp right as soon as the mic icon shows up. And I try to time it perfectly. And that's the best I've ever done it just now.
Oh, well, nice. Everyone has milestones.
It's true. How, what do you got going on today? What are we chatting about?
I have like 4 quick questions. They're more like hardware and plugin based, but yeah.
They better be interesting, Samuel.
Okay. Do you move on to the first question?
On to the first question.
Okay. So, you know how the Novation launch key comes with a copy of Live 10 Lite?
It's true.
So I'm wondering if like the like plugins or whatever software included comes like it upgrades over time. For example, with like the Arturia Keylab Essential, it comes with Analog Lab 2, but does it upgrade to like Analog Lab 3?
I would assume you have to pay for that. Same way that you have to pay for Ableton 10 to Ableton Live 11.
Hi, TAETRO.
Hello. Is that Natalie?
Yeah.
What's good, Natalie?
Good. How are you?
Chilling, you know? Maybe you could have your own segment, just like Samuel has his own segment.
Oh, no.
Natalie,
far from that.
real quick, what's the most annoying thing that Samuel Messiah does at home?
Puts his music on repeat through the speakers, and my room's right next to his. And so having to hear something so repetitive is just annoying.
Love that. Yes, we can all relate. I mean, I've been on the annoying part of that and on the receiving end of that. Just the same loop over and over again, right? And when you're working on music, you don't realize it, but at some point I start to annoy myself with when I'm listening to the loop over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace and love. Shout out to your family. My condolences. I apologize for Samuel Messiah's loops.
And she also annoys me with like her piano.
Oh, well, I didn't ask that.
On and
on. Let's respect the guest. Natalie, thanks for calling in. Oh, you're a pianist.
Yes.
Nice, epic. So music is semi in the family. Are you gonna? You guys should do a collab.
We're a musical family.
Brother sister collab.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
Great talking to you, Natalie.
Same here. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, well, back from that segment.
Next question.
Sure. I'm thinking of upgrading my audio interface because the Evo is really not working out.
Why is it not working out?
Like 2 main problems. The line inputs are like really washed out. Same thing as last week. I could not find a proper like way to set it up. And then second of all, it just turns off out of nowhere and I have to unplug it and replug it back in so it works.
It sounds like a power issue, my friend.
I don't know, it just like stops working. It stays on, but no audio comes out of it.
And does it disconnect from the DAW? Does Ableton say that you have to go reset it as the audio input and output?
No. It's still like it's on and it's receiving an input, I guess, but it doesn't output it.
Oh, that sounds rough. I mean, that's why I try to stick to like the bigger brands like Focusrite. Like I've had a Scarlett 2i2 for so long and it's never failed me. So like, I don't know. Oh, Phil Savard in the chat says driver issues like I had. Sounds like do a little bit of research before you go spend your money on another one.
Okay. Well, either ways, I'm thinking of selling the Evo and getting like a Scarlett 2i2.
Yes, you should do that.
Audio 2 or an Audio Box 96. But I like, since I'm getting the Keylab Essential, I don't think the Audio Box 96 is like going to be that wow, because the Studio Magic bundle already comes with analog lab light, and that's the main focus,
Right.
like the main thing I'm focusing on. So I don't think the audio box is going to be an option. I'm just looking between the Scarlett 2i2 and the Complete Audio 2.
Got it. Scarlett 2i2 is what I say. I mean, the complete one is fine too. It's cool aesthetically, but I don't know. I've just had the Scarlett 2i2 forever. I have both of those. They're both good. Just pick one and buy it. Pick one. Look at the software. I assume that Nave Instruments probably comes with some cool stuff that you might not have already. Focusrite probably comes with some stuff that you might already have.
Okay. And I have another quick question just about, is there a difference between the Focusrite Collective and the Novation Collective?
What do you think? I know the answer to that question.
I don't know. Since it's the same company, I think it's the same thing.
I think it's called Sound Collective, and I think it's the same thing.
Okay. Well, that's one question answered really well.
Check. Really well. Yes, you could say.
I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but I feel like my MacBook's ports are gonna break since I'm using like a dock on USB hub.
Mm-hmm. Is it one of those docks that like hooks right in and it's like part of the laptop, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna break
It's
the
like
port.
flimsy. Yeah, just be careful. Or like I don't use one like that anymore. I use one that has like a dongle and it comes off. I don't know. I don't like that kind.
And last question, Vocal Bender versus Little Altar Boy.
I've never used
Have you ever tried
Vocal Bender. I have used Little Altar Boy and it works great. But I have not used Vocal Bender. Who makes Vocal Bender?
Waves.
Bro, Waves stuff is too... No, whatever. I prefer... All right. What? How can I say this measured? The UI design of Waves plugins is not the best, is what I'll say. Sound Toys, however, who makes Little Altar Boy, much more simplified, much more user-friendly, in my opinion. But about the features, I don't know. Little Altar Boy is probably a little bit more limited than Vocal Bender, I believe. But I'm not sure. I cannot speak to that.
Vocal Bender is more for like live stuff.
Sure.
I've had advertised as like a live.
Right. I've had good experience with Little Altar Boy. I have Ovox by Waves, but what I'll say is like a monster of a plugin. There's like so many things going on in that plugin, which is great. If you want to do a deep dive, maybe it's more capable. But yeah, I do like the Little Altar Boy. That is the experience I can speak from.
Okay. Well, that was it.
Great call. I'm glad we had a guest on your segment. Will this be a regular thing? You'll be having guests on your segment on the show?
Maybe. Who knows?
I love to hear it. Well, we'll find out next time, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next I'll be live tonight, but you'll be getting on the bus.
No, we have a 2-week break, 2-week Easter break.
Wow. Hype. So you'll be on the stream tonight.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, then I'll talk to you later this evening on tonight's stream. Thank you for another great call. Shout out to Natalie.
Thank you. Peace.
Peace. Have a good one. All right. One more call. That was great. We had the whole family on that call. Well, not the whole family, of course, but you know. Here we go. It's STK. Welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up?
You have a very calming voice.
I'm just chilling, man. Just having my cold brew right here.
Wow. You need to have like a morning radio show or an evening radio show.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for calling in. What do you want to chat about today? Also, I need to match your energy. Here we go.
All right. No, I don't have questions from my end. It's just, I just see like a lot of questions are kind of similar to each other. And I kind of understand that like the new people coming into like music production has a lot of questions about gear.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that the gear that you use shouldn't matter. It shouldn't really be about the gear. It should be more about the music that you're making, because you can literally make good music with anything or without anything. Honestly, to be honest, all you need is your computer.
Yeah, I think the one thing that gear does do, and this is a conversation that happens a lot, right? Gear doesn't matter. The thing that gets lost in that conversation is gear can absolutely make your life easier to a certain extent. But to the extent it can help you make better quality music, especially as a beginner, what's going to help you make better quality music is leveling up your skills, knowing your software inside and out, understanding mixing techniques. Like it's easier to go buy a piece of gear than it is to say, let me take this mixing course, than it is to say, let me watch 100 hours of music theory content and take notes. Like, it's a lot easier to just buy a piece of gear than it is to put time in. So that's what people need to avoid. Don't lie to yourself and say that this piece of gear is going to solve your problem unless you're being super objective and you're like, hey, buying this piece of gear is going to solve my problem. Because I have had times where I bought a piece of gear and it has solved the problem, but I wasn't lying to myself. So at the beginning stage, you're absolutely right. Just get yourself a solid piece of software, learn within that. Don't feel like you can't make certain kinds of music. I mean, we just talked to Eric, who was talking about before about like, dude, kid records in his bedroom, gets signed to Interscope Records, like, etc. Like, it happens. You got the classic Skrillex making his track on broken speakers. Like there's no excuses anymore. So just like, people have to be real with themselves, and it goes into the stop asking for permission situation where it's like, stop asking for permission, stop making excuses, all those things. Yeah.
Agree 100%. I also feel like the questions that when people ask, oh, which DAW is better, it's more because I feel like people try, like, let's say Ableton, people try it for like, I don't know, a week. And of course, it's going to be super complicated at first, but you got to get used to it. Like, if you don't get used to, like, stick to one thing and actually learn it.
Yep.
It's not gonna, I don't know, I feel like people try Ableton, let's say, and just find it complicated, so they jump to FL.
It's work.
Like, it's complicated. So it's just like, which one? To be honest, there's no better DAW. It's just like, you just gotta learn what you have and work with it.
I think there's value in, though, picking up a DAW and, oh, I tried Ableton, I'm not really feeling it. Oh, but I picked up FL Studio and, man, I'm making a ton of music. Like, if you figure that out, great. But if you jump from Ableton Live to FL to Studio One to whatever, and you're like, man, these are all complicated, I can't learn music production. The problem is not the programs. The problem is not that the computer programs or the DAWs are complicated. The problem is you're not having the right expectation, like that this is work. And that is another disadvantage of this computer music, electronic music world, in that with piano, with guitar, with traditional instruments, years of pedagogy, years of curriculum. So when you pick up a guitar and you go to learn guitar, there's already the expectation that your fingers are going to hurt for the first week, for the first 2 weeks, for the first whatever. But it's like, you want to play guitar. This is what it takes to learn to play guitar. The problem is, what we don't have in electronic music is enough people saying, you're going to pick up your DAW and you're going to be confused and you're going to be frustrated. And yes, that's part of learning. And here's how we're going to overcome some of those frustrations, some of those things. And it's the nature of it, because everything keeps progressing. Everything keeps getting improved upon so fast. It's not like it's been in existence for centuries. So like, we all have to do our part to kind of combat that. And when the younger or the people who are just entering into the world have those frustrations, like making it feel like, yep, that's how it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be frustrating. It's not supposed to be like you open up the program and right away understand it and right away get it. Will that happen to some people? Of course. Will it happen to the majority of people? No. And part of getting into this is putting in the work, overcoming the frustrations, all that good stuff.
100%. That also kind of applies to putting your music out there. Because I've seen some people in the chat that are putting their first track on streaming platforms and stuff. That's great. And I just want to say, don't focus on numbers, because they're not going to be huge. And it shouldn't be the main point of everything. Of course, a long time when you kind of have a fan base and yada yada, numbers are going to start going up, but at first it's just focus on making your music and putting out there, like in every single one platform. It can't really just be YouTube or stuff like that. It gotta be everywhere.
Make it easy for your audience. Good well said, STK. Thank you for calling in and sharing that with everybody.
Not a problem.
With the dulcet tones of STK. Thank you so much for calling in. We'll chat again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one.
Have a nice one.
A lot of amazing calls today. Thank you all so much for calling in. Andre brings up a good point on that topic, which is the more you stick to one method helps. Yes, if you jump from method, to DAW, from instrument to instrument, and you never really learn one particularly well, your progress is going to go slow. And that is, again, the trying to learn the easy way, trying to look for the shortcut. You're trying to find a shortcut. You're trying to find an easy way. And you know what it's going to do? Make it take longer, because you tried DAW X, Y, Z because you were looking for the easy one, and you realized there was no easy one. So you could have spent that last year just learning one and realizing that none of them are easy. That's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in today. What we got going on later today is a stream where I'm going to talk about grid controllers like a Ableton Push, versus like traditional keyboards like this Gear MPK. That's what I'll be talking about today on tonight's stream. Of course, we'll be making music, so it should be a good stream to tune into. What else do we have going on? Stream tonight. Streaming again on Thursday. Going through every project that I made in the month of March, because the month is coming to an end. Going to decide what's good, what's not so good. The pre-stream is already up for that, so make sure you set a reminder. It's on my channel. And Saturday is a beat review, beat critique. So people will be able to submit their beats, be listening to them live, reacting, etc., etc. We'll be prioritizing members, so get ready for that. Make sure you check out 343labs.com. The link is in the description. You can sign up for classes. We have a Berlin open house happening for those of you based in Berlin. So please help me out and go subscribe to youtube.com/343labs. Because we're so close to 10,000 subscribers. I really want to get that channel to 10,000. And there's lots of good tutorials and other content like Louis Beck's show that's coming up tomorrow. Why is this so loud? More lo-fi tonight? Yeah, we can make some lo-fi tonight. Why not? Amazing. Phil Savard is in the chat. I just want to give him a quick shout out because Phil sent some amazing Control Freak artwork that I just want to show off a little bit. I think it looks so dope. Phil is a great artist. I love having this on the shelf behind me. Thank you, Phil. This is fantastic. All right. Got my new owl. And that's going to be it. So yeah, please, if you're available, tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Pre-stream is up. It's going to be a fun stream. We're going to have a good time. It's less of a call-in show, but we'll be doing lots of interacting regardless. I'm glad you all enjoyed this call-in show. We'll do it again soon. Next week, we have an interview with Eagles and Butterflies, who's a really cool artist that has a pro session coming up with 343 Labs. There's so much information. But regardless, join me again tonight at 7 p.m. and we'll chat some more. 7 p.m. PST. That's in about 7 hours. Yeah, that's it. All right, everybody. Great calls today. Go back and watch from the beginning. If you caught it late, check out the link in the description for 343 Labs. And that's going to be it. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.